I will start off by explaining what holographic breathing is. And there's a gentle motion of the jaw in holographic breathing. On the in-breath, the jaw is very gently opening, and on the out-breath, the jaw is very gently closing. And it's not a big movement, it's only a few millimeters, about half a finger width. So it's a small motion of the jaw. Jaw gently opens on the in-breath, the jaw gently closes on the out-breath. And along with that, the lips are closed and the tongue stays on the roof of the mouth. It's the flat of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. So the lips are closed and relaxed. The tongue is relaxed on the roof of the mouth, and they both stay like that. The lips stay relaxed and closed. The tongue stays on the roof of the mouth, on the in-breath and on the out-breath. And as you breathe in, the jaw gently opens, and as you breathe out, the jaw gently closes. And we're going to go through some exercises just to get that going, because it is not easy just to do that. So we're going to go through some exercises to bring that about. And it starts off as an exercise, as a doing, but after a little while there's a certain thing happens, and it just becomes very relaxing, and it starts an internal memory that's within the cells, and the motion just happens by itself, and it starts taking people into quite a deep meditative and healing place. So we will be learning that, and then later, as we go into further principles of it in this seminar, I'll be showing why it feels so natural, or why it is totally natural. But we will start with that. We'll just start with the learning of holographic breathing. And this first time you do that, to be able to learn it, it is good to be sitting up, and to start off with, it is good to have your eyes open and watching the screen, so you can see what I'm doing. Then at a certain point, when it starts becoming much more meditative, then closing the eyes. We will start that now, the learning of holographic breathing. And to start off with, in this very first part, we're just going to do a little meditation before we start. In this, you can close your eyes if you want, because we're not learning holographic breathing per se. We're just containing the energies and giving a format for the session. And we're going to connect to the earth and the higher self. So for this, you can close your eyes. So closing your eyes, and send a smile, send some energy to the earth, and allow the earth to say hello back. Allow yourself to receive from the earth, and notice what that feels like through your whole body and through your energies, saying hello to the earth with your energy, and allowing yourself to receive back from the earth. And then send a smile to the higher self, send some energy to the higher self, and allow the higher self to say hello back. Allow yourself to receive from the higher self, and notice what that feels like through your body and through your energies, and asking the earth and the higher self to be with you through the whole session as a healing presence and a resource. Okay, so now we're going to start with the holographic breathing. So to start off with, we're going to do some exercises just to bring it in, and the first one is to see that it is easily possible to move the jaw with the lips closed. So the lips are relaxed and closed, and then just gently opening and closing the jaw so the lips stay relaxed and closed, and you do a small motion of the jaw, about half a finger width. It's opening and closing so you can feel the lips stay closed and the jaw can move. And then as you open the jaw, allow yourself to breathe in through the nose, and as you close the jaw, allow yourself to breathe out through the nose. So the jaw opens, you breathe in through the nose, the jaw closes, you breathe out through the nose, relaxing the back of the head, relaxing the back of the neck. Small, gentle motion of the jaw, the lips are relaxed and closed. Okay, you can let that come to an end. And now we're going to get the position of the tongue correct. So it's the upper surface of the tongue on the roof of the mouth, and it's relaxed in that position. The tongue stays relaxed and on the roof of the mouth all of the time, on the in-breath and on the out-breath. The flat of the tongue, the upper surface, as much of the tongue on the roof of the mouth as feels comfortable. Relaxing the back of the head, relaxing the back of the neck. The tip of the tongue is close to or touching the front teeth. And we will carry on with this. So the lips are closed, the tongue is on the roof of the mouth, the jaw gently opens and you allow yourself to breathe in through the nose. The jaw gently closes and you allow yourself to breathe out through the nose. So it feels a bit like a little pump. The jaw is open, opening, breathing in through the nose. The jaw is closing, breathing out through the nose. The lips stay relaxed and closed all of the time. The tongue stays relaxed and on the roof of the mouth all of the time. Relaxed motion of the jaw. And now I want you to turn that around so the jaw is moving from the breath rather than the other way around. As you breathe in, relaxing the jaw open. As you breathe out, relaxing the jaw closed. Breathing in, the jaw relaxes open. Breathing out, the jaw relaxes closed. The lips stay closed with a relaxed seal all of the time, on the in-breath and on the out-breath. The tongue stays relaxed and on the roof of the mouth all of the time, on the in-breath and on the out-breath. Breathing in, the jaw relaxes open. Breathing out, the jaw relaxes closed. And at a certain point, it just starts to feel very natural, as if you've always known how to do this. Relax the back of the neck, relax the back of the head, relax the whole body. Breathing in through the nose, the jaw relaxes open. Breathing out through the nose, the jaw relaxes closed. Relax the back of the neck, relax the back of the head. As you breathe in, the teeth are separating, they're coming apart. As you breathe out, the teeth are coming back together, but they don't need to touch. They can just hover very slightly apart, or if they do touch, they just gently hover there, so there's no pressure. Breathing in, the jaw gently opens. Breathing out, the jaw gently closes, and you start feeling this deep, relaxing breath moving through your whole body. If your eyes are not already closed, it's fine to let your eyes close, to let the meditation go deeper. Breathing in, the jaw gently opens. Breathing out, the jaw gently closes. And now we're going to match it with the chest. On the in-breath, the chest is opening, the jaw is opening. On the out-breath, the chest is closing, the jaw is closing. They're moving together, they're synchronizing. On the in-breath, the abdomen is opening, the jaw is gently opening with it. It's automatic. As the abdomen opens, it's as if the jaw is relaxed, it will just open with the abdomen. And as the abdomen closes, the jaw will relax closed with the abdomen. So gently breathing in this way, and you may feel a subtle moving breath start to move through your whole face, through your cranium, through your throat and neck and whole body. As your body breathes in, automatically with it, the jaw relaxes open. As the body breathes out, the jaw automatically relaxes closed. The lips stay closed with a very relaxed seal all of the time. The tongue stays relaxed and on the roof of the mouth all of the time. The flat of the tongue, the upper surface, as much of the tongue on the roof of the mouth as feels comfortable. Relaxing the back of the head, relaxing the back of the neck, and this very relaxing breath and energy starts to travel through your whole body. Breathing in, the jaw gently opens. Breathing out, the jaw gently closes, and you can feel a subtle breath through your face, through your brain, through your whole head and whole body. And you may feel a gentle energy moving through your spine, through your arms and legs, through your pelvis. It's as if every cell is breathing, opening on the in-breath, closing on the out-breath. It's as if you are breathing in alignment with the earth and the higher self. Notice how natural it feels, as if you've always known how to breathe in this way. It's as if something has opened that has always been there, you've always known about, and it's just come to life. Relaxing your throat, relaxing the back of the neck, the back of the head, relaxing the whole cranium and the brain. Let everything relax, let everything breathe. Notice how nurturing your breathing starts to feel, as if you're connecting to a source of prana, just breathing through you. This gentle motion of the jaw instigates an energy and a breath through your whole body, deeply relaxing, deeply resourcing, connecting you to the universe, the higher self, the earth, your natural energy sources. Gently breathing, softly and easily. And when you feel ready, gently allowing yourself to come back. And when you feel ready, you can allow your eyes to open. Okay, so now we're starting the more advanced part of this webinar. There are 3 talks or lectures, and there are 3 guided journeys to go with these lectures. And all of the lectures are on this video, and all of the guided journeys are on a free audio download. It's absolutely free, there's no charge for this download at all. The link is in the comments below or in the description below. You can just click on that and then download those meditations. The main reason for this is that often people like to repeat the meditational parts. So you'll be able to do that. They'll be on your computer and you can just click on them and listen to them. They are also far better quality this way. The quality of the audio downloads is far better than the YouTube quality. So that is all there. We're now going to start with the first lecture. It's really good to listen to these lectures. They set up for the meditations. They energetically and informationally an introduction to the meditational part. They explain how it works, they show the anatomy, the physiology, how the breath moves through the body, the energies of it. And then when you go into the meditational part, it just is much easier because you understand everything behind it. So that is all there, and I hope you enjoy. In this part, I'm going to show you why it feels so natural and what is actually happening physiologically for it to feel so natural. And also for me, why it is meant to be. It is kind of hardwired into our system. It's as if it's already there and comes to life, and I'll be showing some of the reasons why that is. Now, one thing that happens as we breathe in, the ribs are rising, and as we breathe out, the ribs are dropping. And as they rise, there becomes more space here, because when they're angled down, this is flatter and there's less space. And then as they rise, then it makes this deeper and there's more space. But for the ribs to rise, the muscles are contracting. So there's actually a contraction to raise the ribs. Now, we don't feel that contraction of the muscles. We just feel an expansion of the space, because it would be counterproductive to our breath to feel a contraction on the in-breath. And also the diaphragm dropping. This is a contraction. The muscles are contracting, the diaphragm is pulling down. So the overall thing is of an opening. This is rising, that is causing more space. The diaphragm is dropping, that is causing more space. So we experience it as an expansion. But to get that expansion, the muscles are contracting. And for the ribs to rise, the muscles of the throat and the neck also have to contract, because the ribs are all joining into the throat and the neck, and from there to the jaw and the cranium. So they're all shortening slightly to allow the ribs to rise. And they're contracting, but we don't feel that contraction. It's just an unconscious, gentle contracting of all of the muscles, and the effect of that is an opening, or at least in the chest. Now, I've made this model. It's a bit different to the one that I showed in the other groups, and it's a bit like a pink Terminator, if you've seen that film, where the Terminators are kind of a skull, but they still have all the muscles down here. Now, this here is the muscle, or there's a pair of muscles there between the hyoid bone, which is here, and the top of the ribs that is here. So this muscle will shorten to lift the ribs up. And also, as this muscle shortens, the other effect of shortening this muscle, if you just shorten the muscle and the ribs stay where where they are, what happens as that muscle shortens, notice the jaw opens. So it shortens to raise the ribs, it shortens to open the jaw, it lengthens to let the ribs relax down, and it lengthens to let the jaw close. So we have that effect. If the jaw is just allowed to move with the motion of the ribs, as we breathe in, that muscle will shorten front and back, and the jaw will open. As we breathe out, that muscle will lengthen to drop the ribs, and the jaw will close. So if the jaw is not held, if the jaw is just allowed to move with the muscles of the breath, the natural thing to happen is this: breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. As the muscles contract, the ribs rise, the jaw opens. As the muscle lengthens, the ribs drop and the jaw closes. And this is balanced all the way round. All of these muscles do the same thing, and it's balanced front to back. It won't close so much because the back doesn't drop down, but it has to put a tension there because there's a tension to pull down the jaw. So all of the muscles all round the throat and the cranium, they either have a tension in them or they're opening on the in-breath, closing, or the muscles are shortening, which opens the jaw, and it actually opens all the bones of the cranium, and on the out-breath it closes. So all of these muscles are pulling down, and the only thing they're pulling down on is the spine. So the cranium is being pulled down onto the spine, and the effect of that is that it opens all the cranial bones and the face on the in-breath, and all the cranial bones, as these lengthen and the spine drops down from it, or the head raises from it, they all close on the out-breath. So this instigates the movement of the breath through the face and the cranium. And as the jaw drops, you've got this muscle here which lengthens slightly with it onto the zygomatic arch. That is opening the zygomatic arch on the in-breath, closing it on the out-breath. And you've got this muscle connect to the top of the jaw. So jaw opens, that is pulling across the whole temporal bone, the sides of the cranium, the periatal bones, opens these bones on the in-breath, closes them on the out-breath. And this produces the same motion in the bones as cranial osteopaths and cranial sacral therapists palpate when they're working with a more spiritual breath. But I show how those movements happen in our normal breath. Now, from what I'm aware of, this doesn't happen when we breathe normally. But as soon as we allow the jaw to relax and move with the breath, suddenly instigates that all of these bones can move with the breath. So you get this effect of all of the bones of the face and cranium opening on the in-breath and closing on the out-breath. And this is deeply healing for the whole face and cranium, for the spine, for the brain, for the energies. So that is one way to show why holographic breathing feels so natural. Another reason, you've got the hyoid bone here, which is connected to the jaw, which pulls down. This muscle shortens, pulls down the hyoid bone, which is here, pulls down the jaw. It's connected to the jaw at the front there, to the underside of the cranium there. As this drops, the jaw drops. Breathing in, breathing out. Also, this bone, the trachea, this tube that goes down to the lungs joins to the hyoid, and behind that the esophagus, where the food drops down, connects to the back of the hyoid there. They both come up and join to the hyoid. So also, if we allow the jaw to be relaxed, as the diaphragm drops, the lungs come down with it. The trachea, which is part of the lungs, also comes down, which is attached to the hyoid. So if we allow the jaw to be relaxed and to move with the breath, the diaphragm drops, the lungs, the trachea drops, the hyoid dropping, and the jaw will drop down with it. So just by the diaphragm dropping, the hyoid drops. If we allow the jaw to drop, it will drop. As the diaphragm drops, the jaw drops. As the diaphragm rises, the jaw rises. So it is natural. For me, it is actually more natural than our normal breath, or for me it's more natural than my normal breath. I just do holographic breathing all of the time. So, and then the hyoid is also connected to the tongue, which is connected to the roof of the mouth and produces this energy through the roof of the mouth. So with that, also from that, as the diaphragm is dropping, the stomach is under the diaphragm, the stomach is also dropping, and you've got the esophagus, well, coming from behind, from coming up through the diaphragm to the back of the trachea and joining to the hyoid. So as the stomach drops, it pulls down the esophagus, pulls down the hyoid. If the jaw is allowed to move with the breath, it will just drop on the in-breath and it will rise on the out-breath. So holographic breathing is a totally natural thing that automatically happens if we allow the jaw to be relaxed when we breathe. That is why when I'm teaching holographic breathing, that it starts as an exercise, then at a certain point you say, wow, this feels totally natural. And at that point, an energy starts moving through the body. There's a connection to creation and the earth. There's a connection to the higher self. We're not imposing a foreign breath on the body. This is not a technique. All we're doing is allowing the jaw to move with the breath in a way that it would do if we weren't stopping it doing that in the first place. So there's an interesting thing. As the diaphragm drops, the lungs are all dropping, but the ribs are rising. So you get the esophagus and the trachea dropping, the lungs dropping, the diaphragm dropping, but at the same time the ribs are rising. So they're going in opposite directions, and we can feel this in the trachea and the top of the ribs. And in this next exercise or meditation, at a certain point I'm going to ask you just to bring a finger and a thumb to either side of the tree from one hand, and then with the other hand have the finger and thumb on top of the sternum there, on top of the top ribs. And as you breathe in with holographic breathing, as the jaw drops, the trachea is dropping, the ribs are rising, and you'll feel the hands coming more together. And then as you breathe out, the ribs are dropping and the trachea is rising, and you'll feel them shifting apart. So that is an important thing to find with holographic breathing. And what I will do halfway through that meditation, when we're feeling that, I'll ask you to stop moving your jaw. And the only way to do that, because it's so natural, is just to have the teeth very gently touching so they're not moving anymore. And then you'll notice this whole deeper breath and this whole movement, well, for me anyway, it just comes to an end, and it's a very different type of breathing. And then after a few breaths, allowing the jaw to drop on the in-breath, and you'll feel this whole motion starting. You'll feel the whole diaphragm becoming much more relaxed. I give many things away free of charge in holographic breathing. There's a lot of free tutorials, a lot of free videos. And I also have a section which is paid for tutorials, and also the normal webinars are paid for. And the difference between the free videos are great, they're powerful, they're strong, they work very well. And the paid for ones is, in the paid for ones, I'm teaching the inner dynamics of holographic breathing, how it works, and each one takes it deeper and opens up a whole new paradigm. So the whole way that you're doing holographic breathing just opens and changes systematically as you learn new principles. And this particular webinar is one of those, because as you learn these different principles that I'm teaching you through this, it opens up the way you're doing holographic breathing. Not that you take on something new, in that it just ignites whatever is there. Okay, so closing your eyes, now with again, we've got my pink Terminator here from the Terminator movies. Oops, daisy. Up, up, up. So as we breathe in and the jaw's opening, it's not just the muscles that's opening the jaw, the ribs are rising from all round. So these side muscles are tightening, this back muscle is tightening to balance the front muscle. And what that is doing is pushing the spine up into the cranial base, and all of the bones open on the in-breath and all of the bones close on the out-breath. And that again, that is the same motion as in holographic breathing. I found a stick. Magically there was a stick there. So can you imagine that is the cranium or the brain, and this is the spine. As those muscles, well, actually this will make a better cranial base. So you've got the spine coming up, and you can imagine that is the cranial base. As this is pushing up, all of these are opening. In the lungs can expand down with the diaphragm, they can expand out with the ribs, because air can come into it. But the brain and the cranium is a fixed volume. So as that pushes up and widens, it shortens top to bottom and widens on the in-breath, lengthens top to bottom and narrows on the out-breath. So every breath with holographic breathing, you get this movement of the cranium and brain, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. And again, that is the same as Sutherland used to say with cranial therapy. And I'll be honest with you, because I did do a 2-year training in craniosacral therapy and a 1-year postgraduate training. My impression, and I'm happy to be wrong, is that they're palpating the latent holographic breathing system, the system that's not properly activated, because the movements are exactly the same and they don't have any explanation. They just say, oh, the spiritual energies come in and do that. I can show how that exact motion happens with the muscles in holographic breathing, how they cause that. And the same thing is happening in the abdomen. You have the diaphragm on top of the abdomen. You have the pelvis and pelvic diaphragm on the bottom. The diaphragms are moving towards each other on the in-breath to cause the abdomen to expand. So as the abdomen's opening, it's not just, oh, I'm pushing the abdomen open. It's the diaphragms, the top diaphragm pulling down to the bottom diaphragm, breathing in, breathing out. Because the abdomen, it cannot receive air. It will stay the same volume. So for it to expand out, it shortens top to bottom. And for the stomach to come back in, it lengthens top to bottom. But it's actually the top to bottom motion that's causing it. These muscles are pulling together and all of the muscles around the abdomen are relaxing to let it expand out. And so that's the in-breath and that's the out-breath. And you don't want to feel the muscles because you don't want to get the sensation of a contraction, because that goes against our experience of the in-breath being an expansion. But within holographic breathing, you can feel that motion through the body. And once you feel it in the abdomen, shortening top to bottom, expanding on the in-breath, lengthening top to bottom, shortening on the out-breath, then you start feeling it through the whole body. You feel it between the top of the head and the pelvic floor. The whole body shortening on the in-breath to allow it to open. And as you feel that shortening, because you don't want to feel the muscles contracting, but the muscles through the whole body are doing that to allow this expansion. It's not just the abdomen's expanding, the chest is expanding, and it gives you a much bigger opening laterally as you feel this slight tension top to bottom. Then on the out-breath, this lengthens, and all of this, the abdomen and the chest, come back in. So we're going to get an experience of that in the next meditation. We'll start off with the movement in the chest and get this feeling of the chest and lungs being separate. In our normal breath, they kind of become fixed, they become one. But once the jaw starts moving, the whole lungs can drop and the ribs can rise separately, and this activates the pleura, which are these membranes between the lungs and the ribs with this layer of fluid in them. It activates all of that. So we'll feel that. We'll drop into the abdomen. We'll start feeling the organs of the abdomen, and then we'll start feeling this. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. And as that breathes in, it's breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. So in the abdomen and the cranium and whole rest of the body, breathing in, breathing out. There's this general shortening top to bottom on the in-breath and widening, general lengthening on the out-breath, narrowing. And at a certain point, I'll ask you just to allow on the out-breath, as the teeth come together, to let them stay together, so you're no longer doing holographic breathing. Notice what happens to that movement. It's like almost a totally different thing is happening, a whole different physiological thing is happening. The diaphragm is much more movement. Everything has got much more movement and a deeper breath in holographic breathing, just naturally. And we'll find out, we'll feel what happens when we bring the jaw together and see if that all stops. And then when we allow the jaw to move, where this whole thing starts again. We're just going to do a very short one now to incorporate the roof of the mouth. So in the face, the reason holographic breathing is called holographic breathing is because it's the same image over and over. And in the face, the jaw relates to the pelvis, the tongue relates to the abdomen and organs, the roof of the mouth to the diaphragm. The nasal passageways, can you see the 4 ventricles? These are like the heart. The maxillary sinuses are like the lungs. The eyes relate to the brain. The ethmoid, which is in the middle, also relates to the brain. And the cranial fluid. So it's a mirror of the whole body. And if we allow it, if we, rather than think of the roof of the mouth as solid, if we allow it to be soft, so the diaphragm drops, the hyoid bone's dropping, which is connecting to the tongue's dropping, that's suction to the roof of the mouth drops on the in-breath and rises on the out-breath, and that instigates the breath through the whole face. That starts the whole face breathing. Now, we're not going to go into that in a great deal of depth in this session, but we will just activate it a little bit. We go into many different aspects of that in later webinars, but we will activate that a bit. So we're going to do that now, just to open up that a bit through the whole face. So let's do that. Okay, so the third guided journey is on a free audio download. To get this, just click on the link in the description below. I hope you've enjoyed this seminar, and if you have enjoyed it, please like, subscribe and share. And yeah, I really hope you've enjoyed it, and please try more. There are loads more. There are loads on my website, and there's loads on my YouTube channel. Just click on the subscribe button and you'll find loads of my videos and tutorials and everything there. Brilliant. All right, bye for now.